I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. Well, hello and good evening and welcome to everybody. I don't know what the issue is tonight, but it just feels like there's like some ooh going on. I was talking to you guys for like a minute, and then I realized that even though I hit the button that says that to go live, I wasn't live. I had ran the 30-second clip thing and everything. And anyway, I'm here now, and I'm so excited because it is Saturday Night is Live. We have not done this segment in so long, and I'm so happy to be here in great company. Good to see you, Steve Willis. Thank you so much. Lisa R. Hall, I think this is your first Saturday Night is Live with us, Lisa. I think that it is. You know, I'm just ecstatic. I'm so happy. Listen, tonight we've got a lot of stuff we are going to cover. We have a lot of stuff that we are going to cover. Now, what we do on Saturday Night is Live is, I know the channel is mostly dedicated, is all dedicated to Yah. We sort of tie in what's going on in the time frame of now with all of this other stuff that's going on around the world. And yeah, so we're going to be looking at some stuff. I just got some great information that came from one of our viewers. Actually, he's our executive producer. And so he sent some good information. We're going to cover that. We're also going to look at dirty old Nancy Pelosi and her son. We're going to check him out. We're going to check out her husband. We're going to try to figure out exactly what's going on. They might need us to be on the case. They might need our help. And then we're going to look at a little bit of stuff that's going on with the tsunami. For everybody who's out there on the West Coast, yikes, right? Yikes, you guys. Oh boy. What are we going to do? Who knows? You know, the numbers are going from 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. For everybody who's here with me right now, let's get a 1 in the chat box so I can see exactly how many of us it is. I know that it's Saturday Night is Live. Hey, Sandy, how you doing, sis? And we haven't had this in a minute, but I'm going to actually come out and come on you all side so that I can see exactly what's shaking, Gator. I want to check y'all out and see what's happening on this side. It looks like the computer is moving sort of slow today. I don't know why. What's it, the 15th? So it shouldn't be moving slow. It shouldn't make a difference what day it is, but I do know they got some stuff going on. So it looks like we're having some slowness, and that's amazing. Somebody, let's see, whoever has a wrench, let's help Vorg on out. Whoever's got a wrench, Sarah, hey. Whoever's got a wrench, help the VPWTX person out the door, please, because it's not a person, it's a bot. And ain't no bots going to be getting live with us here tonight on Saturday Night Live. Is going on. They can't hang. So let's see. What story are we going to look at first? Jack the Giant Slayer. Hey, smash that bot. Smash that bot, he said. I think I want to start, you guys, with the tsunami. Let's start with the pressing stuff. So we've got, like, first it erupted, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then we got some other stuff too. So let's go ahead and look at that. I think we're going to start with the RT news first. Should we start with that one, or should we start with this one? The tsunami. Okay, yeah, let's do this one first, and then we'll go ahead and sort of like order or whatever. But it all the news came out at the same time, so here we go. For everybody who's not been here with us before, when we do Saturday Night is Live, we have a guest that's coming. He's not in here yet, but we do have a guest that's coming. And so I'm excited. Hey, Deborah Dorsum, how are you? It's so good to see you. All right, going over here, gonna read. Tonga hit by tsunami after a volcanic eruption. So I have 3 stories that I'm going to read that are all associated with this. We're not necessarily going to read them in perfect order, but I wonder what happens when I click this button.
Excuse me.
Oh, an ad. So let's block the ad until it gets to the good part. But nonetheless, we can go here. These are the latest maximum observed wave heights on the West Coast. Here it is. Here it is.
It's hit Tonga's largest island, reportedly sent waves flooding into the capital. This happened after an underwater volcano, and you're going to see it right here. This is in South Pacific. It exploded in that violent eruption. It's satellite video that caught it.
Let's bring in meteorologist Allison Chinchar. Allison, what do we know about the tsunami?
Right, so it actually happened last night Eastern time. It basically happened at 5:27 p.m. on the 14th. That would have been 11 p.m. last night Eastern time. And very locally, some high tsunami waves in and around right where the volcanic eruption took place. Now, some really fascinating video coming in. Take a look at this. Again, you can see the initial eruption there and the subsequent shock wave that takes place because of the eruption. Again, you can see kind of around the outer edges here after the eruption takes place. Again, just really incredible to kind of show the scope of the volcanic eruption. But yes, it was an underwater volcano. So again, as it's pushing up, it's displacing some of that water around it. So you are going to get some decent sized tsunami waves, again, around the local region here. So you had several around Tonga, Vanuatu, Hawaii, and then Norfolk Island, Australia, ending up with the highest, at least so far, observed wave at about 4.2 feet. Now, one thing to note, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, they're all keeping a very close eye on this. They are saying that if there were any unusual wave heights to arrive along the west coast of the U.S., it wouldn't be until about 6:15 a.m. Pacific time or about 9:15 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to read a little. We're going to read a little because it is fundamental. We're going to read a little bit, and it does let us know here that this might start playing again, you guys, because sometimes that happens. So if it does, never fear. I'll just pop back on the other side where you guys are and zap it. All right, so let me get right into this. And it does say that there are these are the latest maximum observed waves height on the West Coast. Most of the West Coast remains in a tsunami advisory in the wake of the underground volcanic eruption near Tonga. The highest waves were recorded in Port St. Louis. I think that's like where San Luis Obispo in that area. That's like the old, what is his name? The old president. It's in his area. San Luis Obispo. Yeah, that's out there near, oh gosh, I am not a crook. That cat's neighborhood. Anyway, Port San Luis Obispo, California is 4.3 feet. King Cove, Alaska, 3.3 feet. Area Cove, California, 3.7 feet. Crescent City, California, 3.7. And the Port Reyes is 2.9, according to the National Weather Service. Here's a look at the latest numbers, it says. This is from the NWS San Diego. An update on the latest tsunami, it says. Coastal observations, San Diego now up to 1.4 feet or 44 centimeters. While La Jolla holds 0.6 feet or 18 centimeters. Here it breaks it all the way down here. For anybody who's interested, let me go ahead and give that to you. And then some of the mods, if they have the ability to replicate that, we will allow them to do it. Let me see. If I do that, then it's going to zap me. But listen, let me see. Here, I'll give you this. I'll just give you the whole page. Una página. I'm going to give you one page. So that way you at least have it, and then you can just, do your magic. You can just do your thing after that. Okay, so there we go. Slow boil next time will be 5 feet. From the one and only R. Jones. Is Deborah Woods here tonight? I don't see Deborah Woods here yet. Okay, I'll be looking for her. All right, so that's what's going on there. Then it also goes, what is this right here? California official explains why 1 to 2 foot waves can be dangerous. Well, let's just see what they say. Santa Cruz, California Fire Department Chief Rob Young explained why even smaller waves can quickly become a threat. Young told CNN's Jessica Dean in an interview that the first initial 1 to 2 foot wave tsunami or 2 foot tsunami wave was at about 7:40 a.m. Pacific time, which coincided with high tide. And then a larger wave occurred around 8:50 a.m. He says, quote, I was at our harbor where our surge was approximately 7 feet. So before we have the wave come in to increase the level, it draws everything out of the harbor and then it comes in. And so it was about a 7 foot increase. That's amazing. Inside of about 3 minutes, so it creates a strong current, and then damage occurred in the harbor to some of the docks. So Santa Cruz has closed its beaches there for safety reasons. And you know what? It says even though, quote, even though they don't look like they're dangerous at the time, there's a reason for it, he says. Everybody that was walking up to us in between said, well, it's 1 to 2 feet. What's the big deal? And then when they saw the high mark on these docks, they realized that 6 feet higher than right now. And the swing happens that fast. So if you're out on the beach and you have a 6 foot increase in the water inside of 3 minutes, then you may be stuck in the water and not able to exit, he says. So now there are the advisories and they're all over the West Coast. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, everyone in California, and this is where I'm from. I was raised here. You guys know I'm a Southern girl. You know where I was born. You know where all my family is, and that's that they're in the SIP. But I got a lot of folks who are still here in California. And when I tell you I've been begging folks to leave, I just don't know what to say. I have been begging people to leave, begging them, please go, please leave. Hey, Rebecca, please leave. I've been begging them to leave. And do you know what, Sandy Aaron? They won't go. Nobody will leave. They sit there. They just sit there. And I'm right now I'm looking at this, but I'm thinking they're going to be so high. Most of them won't even notice. Most of them won't even notice. They'll be like, oh, really? Something's going on. Well, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Lee, I see you trying to get in. Your device is not connected, so I'm going to wait for you to get it all hooked up and get it all connected. But I see you. You're probably going to want to connect possibly your mic or your camera, one of the two. And if it's not, and you can hook up the camera, and you know that you can still do the shut the camera off, and that means you'll only use your avatar. Lee Red Nation Under God is here. It's my brother. He's going to visit with us tonight. But we're looking. But I mean, I've been telling people, please get out of there. I talked to my son about a week ago, and I was like, will you please get out? Please get out of California. But he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. So there's that. But look, all along the coastal area, look, San Francisco, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Jose, Bakersfield, Los Angeles. Look at that. And then Tijuana is where that line is right there. But right there from Los Angeles, next to Tijuana, you've got San Diego. Yeah. You got Eureka up yonder. Yeah. Lots of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe something will happen. But at least they've taken the steps to get the advisories out there. That says advisories have ended for Hawaii, all right, and the southeast Alaska, and then some of the British Columbia coastline. All of the advisories have ended. And here's the definition of a tsunami advisory. Advisory means a strong wave is on the way. Strong and unusual currents are expected along the coast and in the bays, the marinas, and the harbors. Move to high ground and away from the shore. And you can find out more. Ooh, let's sneak. Let's see. Will it take us over here? Will it take us? Here we go. Tsunami.gov. Whoa, I can be like a play meteorologist. I can just go over here and just pretend like I'm a meteorologist. Let's see what happens when I share it with you guys. Wow, can you see that? Look at that. I can pretend. I could be like the Carol Merrill type of meteorologist lady. NOOA, National Weather Services. The U.S. Tsunami Warning System. Let's get close. Let's get into the mic. They do their, what's her name? The lady with the blonde hair. Oh no, I'll be Jane Russell. Yes, the Tsunami Advisory. Magnitude 1, because I'm being a, weather girl. Anyway. Oh, there's a good one. It's raining. No, it's okay. I won't try it. Anyway, origin time. It was yesterday at 10:26 and all that good stuff. PM. And here you go. There it is. Fox Islands. It's giving you all the warning, all the advisories. It's giving you all the stuff. Gee whiz. For the love of Pete. I don't know how anybody does any of this. This stuff reminds me of that itemized paperwork that I just pulled out from my taxes. When it printed up, I was like, this looks really weird. Better give it away. Give it to somebody who does that with the numbers. So I sent it to her so she can deal stuff with the numbers, because I don't do this right here. This intimidates me. So off with its head it goes. Off with its head. I'm coming back over here to hang out with y'all. All right, so that was that. That was a look at just that. That's a look at just that. Okay? So let's go and look at something else. We're building. We're literally building. We're building. Okay? Let me get rid of this stuff right here. What was this? This is some more warning stuff. Okay, we did that one. What is this? Oh, tsunami waves arrive in California. This was at 7:22. At 1922 is 7:22. Oh, look at these waves. I don't know. He's still trying to get in. Lee's still trying to get in. I still see him coming. He's trying to get in. I'm not going to look at that right now, but I do want to look at and prep Lee for this one. Okay. So I got this from a very dear, dear, dear friend. And I want to read this right now, because it would appear that there are some discrepancies. And some of the discrepancies say that there are some people who say that in France, it's real. In the United States, they're still trying to they're still trying to fake the funk. So let me show you the fake the funk first. We're going to fake the funk first. So the ACLI news release was March the 12th, 2021, which is almost a year ago. So we don't really know where they stand right now, right? But we're about to find out. So the American Council of Life Insurers, or the ACLI, responds to social media misinformation about the waxer. All right. In Washington, the American Council of Life Insurers, or the ACLI, senior vice president at the time, because only y'all knows where these people bounce from one year to the next. So at the time is what I'm going to say for safekeepings. Anyway, baby, let's keep it pushing. All right. So the senior vice president, policy development, Paul Graham, issued the following statement on the social media misinformation relating to the waxers. Quote, a social media post appears to be behind the spread of entirely false, not partially, but entirely false information suggesting that putting the wax on the car could be a factor in life insurance. And this is why they are considered with the claims paying process. So you had to put that together so you guys could understand that we have to say, steganography. Quote, this is the fact that life insurers do not consider whether or not a policyholder has received the waxer or not when deciding whether to pay them. That is something that they're saying they don't consider. Life insurance policy contracts are very clear on how policies work and what cause, if any, might lead to the denial of a benefit. Now, this thing that everybody's going through for the last 2 years, he says, is not one of them. Let me make this really big so that y'all can see. Okay, so you can read it for yourself. I don't have to say nothing because y'all so smart. He said that that's not one of them. Policyholders should rest assured that nothing has changed in the claims paying process as a result of this situation. Okay? Then he goes on to say that policyholders should reach out to their life insurer's agents, their life insurance company, or financial professionals for their related questions. They'll be happy to help. And the truth about it is what was just sent to me. Let me go ahead on and show you. Because, over in Francois, things are a little bit different. This comes from Wild Sage. Wild Sage. Can you imagine having a hold of some wild sage? Sounds delish, actually. Life insurer refuses to cover We're going to read this as news. I'm reading this specifically as entertainment and news. This is in no way, that means I'm about to go in and read it correctly. This is in no way an agreement or disagreement with this particular topic. We are reading it specifically for information purposes and entertainment. This comes from Wild Sage, and it is written by Sagebrush Rebel on January the 14th, 2022. An explosive case is currently being hotly debated on social media in France. A richer, older entrepreneur from Paris is said to have died as a result of the injection. Previously, he had taken out a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy for the benefit of his children and grandchildren, according to a media report. Although the vaccination is recognized as the cause of death by the doctors and the insurance company, it has refused to pay out. The reason is because of the side effects of the situation are known and published. Let's read that again. The reason is because the side effects are known and published. So they argue that the deceased took part in an X-Files series. An X-Files series. I gotta switch it up now that I see where they're going, baby. I gotta switch it up, baby. Okay, so because the decedent took part in the X-Files chapter, I think it was episode 19, X-Files episode 19 that came out, was it CBS? I don't remember. Anyway, COVID, you know what I'm saying, in itself is not classified as a critical illness. The incident itself, episode 19, in itself is not classified as a critical illness. According to the company, an experimental X-File episode resulting in death is like committing hirikiri. Please follow me, hirikiri. The insurance company justified the refusal of the payment to the family by stating that the use of this experimental X-Files treatment, including the X-File itself, is expressly excluded from the insurance contract. The family's subsequent lawsuit against the insurance company has been unsuccessful. It's been unsuccessful because they said what they said when they said what they said. When you signed on the paper and they meant what they said, they meant what they said. They meant what they said. So the family has tried to no avail. They're not getting anything. That's just it. They're not paying it out. The court allegedly justified its ruling as follows. The side effects of the experimental are published, and the deceased could not claim to have known nothing about it when he voluntarily took it. There is no law or mandate in France that compelled him to do this. Hence, his death is essentially hirikiri. Since hirikiri is not covered by the policy from the outset, the insurance refuses to budge. Scandalous verdict taken a fatal risk is legally hirikiri. The scandalous verdict taking a fatal risk is legally hirikiri. The court recognizes the classification of the insurer who, in view of the announced side effects, including a permanent nap, legally regards participation in the phase 3 of the X-Files, whose proven harmlessness is not given, as voluntarily taken a fatal risk, and that is not covered by the contract and legally recognized as hirikiri. The family has appealed. However, the insurance defense is recognized as well-founded and contractually justified, as this publicly known fatal risk is legally considered hirikiri. Since the customer has been notified and has agreed to voluntarily take it without being obliged or compelled to do so, that's the deal. No surprise, mainstream media is silent. This case has not yet been reported in France's mainstream media. The case was published by a family attorney, Carlo Alberto Brusa, on social media. Unfortunately, no sources or court records are given, which is why the authenticity of the report cannot be currently verified, although there have been other warnings regarding the risks associated with it, recognized by insurers. Now, in the United States, the American Council of Life Insurance Insurers has denied reports of non-payment. So there is nothing that we can do because we just read what they said and then we just read what he said, but we ain't got nothing to corroborate what he said because he said what he said. But we can try to find Mr. Carlo Alberto Brusa. Or is it Barusa? Who knows? Censorship in recent months, the anti-blanker groups. I'm not even reading that. I don't feel like being bothered with these people. These people have been bugging me. They done bugged me twice already. I don't feel like being bothered with these people. But anyway, the link will be down below in the description of this actual show. Yes, it will be. And you can read more. Yep, the refusal to pay for a car turtle wax may not be surprising since globally the life insurance industry has been hit with the reported claims of $5.5 billion in the first 9 months of 2021 versus the $3.5 billion for the whole of 2020, according to the insurer broker Howden. And I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but on the other channel, I did talk about this whole thing with regards to them saying that a whole bunch of extra people had left the planet. They left the planet. Yeah. And when they left the planet, they did not leave on a SpaceX. They didn't go with SpaceX. They didn't leave with SpaceX. They just left. And what these folks are saying is this right here is not their fault. And they don't have to pay $1 million, dude. Who? They were like, you ain't gonna be no, we ain't gonna let you come up, player. We're not gonna let you come up. You ain't about to come up over here. You are not about to come up over here. Let me make a poll right quick. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. If you knew, I'm gonna ask you a poll right now. They would not, give y'all, I want you guys to just do the I want y'all to do the math. Y'all know what I mean. And that's it. I'm not gonna add an option. I don't want an option. Add an option. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Never. There you go. Now we're going to ask the community. All right, you guys. A potato chip. I just gave y'all a thingy-majigger. Where did it go? Where did my thingy-majigger go? I hit the end button. I put the button in there. There it is. Hey, she did it. If you knew they would not give you a popsicle. You see that? If you knew they would not give you a popsicle, would you handle that with the potato chips? Would you do it? I don't think I would do it. But then again, that's me. You know what I mean? That's me. Let's see. There's some more stuff that was on this page that I wanted you guys to see. And I want to thank the wonderful gentleman for sending that. I do not have permission to use his name, but I will just tell you that he is a very nice human being. All right, so let's go on to the next thing. Let's see. We're here. We're going to get rid of this. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Going to get rid of that one. All right. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I don't know what happened to Lee. I saw him trying to get in here 2 times. I think it's something wrong with his stuff. I don't know what it is. But anyway, the Ukraine suspects the group linked to Belarus intelligence. So they're having some issues. They're having a lot of issues. There's a lot of stuff going on over there right now. Lots and lots of stuff. Gee whiz. We're going to get down to the good part in a minute, though. Ukraine suspects the group linked to Belarus intelligence over the cyber attack. Yep. Comes from the same place, thanks to my wonderful friend who sent me the first link. I saw this and thought, Kiev believes a hacker group behind the link to Belarusian Anyway, intelligence carried out a cyber attack, and it's over here in Reuters. All right. There's a whole big old long link that hit the Ukrainian government website this week and used malware similar to that used by a group tied to Russian intelligence, a senior Ukrainian authority or a security official said. Shirley Demedjuk, SD, a deputy secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, told Reuters that the Ukraine blamed Friday's attack, which defaced the government's website with threatening messages, on a group known as the UNC 1151, and that it was cover for more destructive actions behind the scenes. Quote, "We believe preliminarily that the group UNC 1151 may be involved," okay, all right, on the attack. Preliminarily. There you go. His comments offer the first detailed analysis by Kiev on the suspected culprits behind the cyber attack on dozens of websites. Oh, I hear him. Oh, how come he's not coming? Hold on, let me call him right quick and let's find out why Lee cannot get in. And I think it's because perhaps maybe his mic is not adjusting or something. Let's see. This is terrible. This is awful. It's absolutely terrible. Terrible, I tell you. Excuse me. Let's call this dude. Come on, dude. Hey, dude. Uh-huh. Well, it's not your browser because I can see on this side what it is. It's saying that you need to connect your microphone and your camera before I can add you to the stream. Yeah, go the regular way. Yeah, do it the regular way. Yeah, try it. They're all waiting on you. Just say hi to everybody right quickly because they're waiting. Just say hello.
Hello.
Okay, so he's trying to get himself together, and I can't wait for him to get in here because I know he's going to have a lot to say. That's why I'm holding off on the Nancy Pelosi story until he gets in here. When he gets in here, it's going to be Nancy Pelosi galore. Nancy Pelosi galore. Anybody ever see that old movie? All right, Lee, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm gonna see you in a minute. Bye. Okay, y'all didn't get it. Nobody got it. Nobody got it. There are no true and honest Bond fans here. Did anybody get what I just said? It's going to be Mo Nancy Pelosi to go. Pelosi galore? Pelosi galore? Man, ain't nobody getting it. I'll be in this all by myself sometimes. I'll be feeling it. Y'all be dissing the sister. Yay. Okay, nope, nobody got. Oh, okay, R. Jones got it. Yes. She got it. Jack the Giant Slayer got it. Jack got it. Who else got it? There you go. William got it. Yes. So we're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi galore. Charlie said, "Oh my, that flew over my head, but I got it." And then, yes, it went over the head, everybody. You didn't dare admit it. That Steve got it. Yes, galore. So we are going to talk about her next. Okay, so we already see. I don't even think I want to talk about the whole Ukraine thing because I think that's just so contrived and it's really not true. But I do want to get into Nancy's business. So let me go ahead and remove this so we can get into Nancy's business because you know old Nancy Pants. Fancy Nancy Pants has got some stuff going on. So let's just look over here because you know I did this big old thing over there on. Did a 2-part on Headlines with a Voice. But look, let's check this out together, shall we? Yeah, homeboy's been busy. Look, okay, so wait a minute. Let's talk. We're going to talk about her husband right here. But look. Okay, here we go. Okay, I need everybody to think about the what's his name? Shaggy. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. Cold call some scammers. Cold call scammers. It wasn't me. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. Here we go. A front company for criminals. It wasn't me. Oh boy. A front company for criminals. It wasn't me. Here we go. Fraud and bribery in Atlanta. It wasn't me. A fake United Nations charity. It wasn't me. Oh wow. Let me show you over here. Let me show you. How did y'all know that I had done all of this extra tea? A fake United Nations charity? It wasn't me. Where are we at? 164 million fraudulent share scheme? It wasn't me. Okay, we got to get another one. Even with all of this evidence, it wasn't me. You let Pookie and Ray Ray now try to go someplace talking about, I didn't do none of that. I didn't have nothing to do with it. It's all circumstantial, Your Honor. But officer, please make these bracelets a little softer. Loosen them up a little bit. Officer. That's exactly what Pookie and Ray Ray now. Bubba from all of that. Bubba, all of them. You can't say none of this wasn't you. Bubba or Pookie, Ray Ray, Man, Lil Man, none of them can say it. It wasn't me. It was you. You did it. But let's see where he get it from. Because you know how they say when a chick be fancy, she get it from her mama? Well, apparently he did too. How Nancy Pelosi, he got it from his daddy, how Nancy Pelosi's husband made them $17 million in 1 year. All I need to tell you is that would be one happy brother. You bring a sister $17 million in 1 year, baby. What? Here we are. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has made millions from her stock market investments, including from companies she helps regulate. Her wealth grew by an estimated $16.7 million in 2020, trading over $50 million in assets and generating an annualized return of 69% that beat legendary investors like Warren Buffett and George Soros, according to the congressional disclosures. Many of her outsized gains came from bets on big tech stocks like Google, Amazon, and Apple, while DC insiders have accused the House Speaker of dragging her feet on reform to rein in Silicon Valley. Her Wall Street plays are handled by her husband, Paul Pelosi Sr., who runs investment firms, financial leasing services. Okay. Now it goes on to say that his well-timed bets, including buying 4,000 shares of Google's parent company Alphabet just before a House Judiciary Committee vote on antitrust regulations for the Silicon Valley monopolies, the investment earned the Pelosi's $5.3 million. The company's fortune is worth an estimated $100 million, making Nancy one of the richest members of Congress. Prominent fellow Democrat Alexander Ocasio-Cortez and Warren have called for members of Congress to be barred from investing on Wall Street. Now, I really don't care anything that Eyeballs has to say, because Eyeballs is a very big contradictory person, because she has been talking all kind of drama and then went right down there to get her tan line. Her tan line did on the sunny shores of Florida. Moving right along. The excess and influence should be exercised for the public interest, not our profit. Okay, the access to influence that we have should be exercised for the public interest and not for our profit. It shouldn't be legal for us to trade individual stock with info that we have. Ocasio-Cortez tweeted last month, I take what she says with a hill of beans. Because, well, it's not good for everybody else. It's not good for Pelosi now because, well, then you can't be involved in it. But next time you are involved in it, then what is it going to be? Because I guarantee you, all they're going to do is tell her that she can get some stock in something like Prada, you know what I mean, or Manolo Blahnik or something like that, or the Louis Vuitton company, which is really the Estee Lauder company. As soon as they open something like that, she'll take it, if that's even a possibility, but she'd do it. She'd buy it. Nancy Pelosi told a reporter in December that she believed that she and her colleagues should be able to participate in trading because we're a free market economy, and denied any conflict of interest. Well, of course she denied it. Okay, of course she denied it. Reliance on tech stocks led the Pelosi's to underperform in 2021, trailing the S&P 500 by 15.5%, according to fine print. All right, and there goes. See, there's those eyes. These eyes. Dun, 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 dun. These eyes. Yeah, these eyes. The eyes. I'm telling you, the eyes. These eyes. And where is eyeballs? Because I just call her eyeballs now. That's all I call her now is eyeballs, because her eyes are like bugged. I mean, she'd be bugging. Yeah, she bugs. Those eyes are bugging. Oh, I'm amazed I don't see any pictures of her anywhere near here. I'm amazed. But you guys know who I'm talking about, eyeballs. Let me get eyeballs, because I think I showed her the other day. Oh, I can't put her name in as eyeballs, though. I literally put that girl's name in here as eyeballs. I can't believe I did that. Oh, boy. Okay, hold on. All right, let's see. There we are, Clarice. The beans. I found it. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. Is this it? I think this is it. I think we're there. Oh, what? This is the first time that's happened in a long time. There she go. Eyeballs. Clarice. Yeah, she's nuts. I'm sorry. She's nuts. Eyebrows. It looks like she's saying, You talking to me? That's what she looks like. That looks like. I bet you she goes through and has them scrub all of these. I bet you any money, because I can find this one now, but I can't find any more. That's her. Looks like a little boy, but okay. Blessings. That's the only one they have. That's the only one. Oh, there goes another one. This is the one I showed the other day. Look at that. Believe me. That's what she looks like, believe me. So now we see where he gets it from, but I had to just show her eyeballs. But now we see he gets it from his daddy, and he gets it from his mama. He gets it from his daddy and his mama, and his mama got it from her daddy. Who probably got it from his daddy too, because they has been into some stuff. They really have. They have honestly been doing some things. So here's the deal, folks. It's okay for them, but it's not okay for you and for me. A lot of the things that they do is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's all cool as long as they're making the bucks. And, the charade that's going on up there right now is really bugging me. I really felt like what I saw go on between Rand Paul and the other guy the other day just really bugged me to no ends. It bugged me to no ends, and the reason why it bugged me to no ends was because I felt like it's just about them making a scene for us to wind down the shot clock. That's exactly what's going on. They're just winding down the shot clock. That's it. They're winding down the shot clock. For example, case in point, the whole 75-year thing, it's going to take 75 years. First, it'll take 50 years to get you all the information that you need. You don't like that? Okay, then it'll take us 75 years to get you all the information that you all need. Oh, nobody will be here then? Oh, man. And we really wanted to honor that FISA. That FOIA. We really honestly wanted to, we wanted to honor that FOIA. We did. I mean, because it's the freedom of information, right? We really wanted to do it, but it's okay. The reason why I think that they are even going to the 75-50 negotiation table is because, the true deal is that in 2023, the clinical trials will legally be coming to a close. And that the very end of page 7 on that document that was submitted and that everybody thought they read, but they didn't read correctly, That page 7 basically lets you know that it could extend to 2025, 2024, and 2025 before everything gets a nice little pretty bow put on it. A little bow, little red, white, and blue ribbon, okay? And put the seal of it on there. Yeah. So here's the skinny. The reason why they're able to play out the shot clock is to keep us distracted and wanting things to be better until such time as Lee is here. Hey, Lee. So I think that what we are being played. So Lee, what I'm talking about right now is the whole 75-year thing. First it was 50 years. And then we were like, 50 years just to see the truth? That trick will never work. And then they said, okay, well, if you don't like that, take 75 years before we can give you guys the information. And so what I'm saying is the reason why I think that it's a sham is because they're just going to play down the shot clock until 2023. And then they know that they're right there in the game. They're in the game. Yeah, they're in the game. And so that's a major issue. Sandy Aaron says, I think I read somewhere that someone sued Pfister, and they are going, and they're going to have, oh, really? They're going to have to drop all the docs. Well, you know what? I hope so. Welcome, Lee, disciple of the Messiah says. Everyone, I want to welcome my brother, my baby brother, Lee Hill. Lee Hill is here with us. He is so awesome. And I'm just so glad that he's here. So I don't even know what to say. We just got through talking about what's going on with eyeballs. I call AOC eyeballs. And, I call AOC eyeballs. And I was totally, and that's Charlie said hello to. Everybody is saying, hey, brother. What's going on? So yeah, I was saying, how Eyeballs went out there to Florida and she got her bikini tan. She got her little tan lines. And then the same thing with Pelosi with all the money and stuff that she and her husband made. And what I think it was like 2020, because I don't think they even showed 2021. But nonetheless, he made $16.5 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that to me speaks volumes about what we're really dealing with.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then all of the stuff that her son did, I was singing it to Shaggy. Hey, Alan Davis. Oh, hello and welcome. My newest member. Thank you so much for joining us on the Lockhart Perspective. I appreciate you so much for that. Thank you. But you know what? Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you, Lee. Here's the deal. Here's the skinny. They're not going to have 1 minute in a pokey. None of them. They can all do whatever they want to do. They can say whatever they want to say. And it can be just as many lies as it wants to be because that's who they are and that's what's going to happen. They're going to do what they want to do. She went out there and got her tan line out there in Florida and talked all bad about everybody out there in Florida. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what I really think about Florida. My husband calls eyeballs California. Okay. That's what he says, Sarah. That's funny. She has the same eyes as Shifty Shift. And that's because they're all taking the same Kool-Aid. All of them are drinking the same Kool-Aid. But as it relates to Nancy Pelosi, it really, really burned my goat when I saw everything that her son had done. And we know that he's not going to spend one moment anywhere for any reason. And I kept singing. It wasn't me. I used Shaggy's song for every charge that they, said that he had been having some dibble dabbles with. It wasn't him. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, as they talk about it, do as I say, not as I actually do. And the American people and people, period, of the whole world have given these political leaders their go ahead. Now that these things have been brought to the open, the train is so far down the road, you can't stop it now. The only thing you can do is hopefully God will do something, a miracle. There's pretty much nothing you can do. Only thing you can do is just wake up people. You can bring it to their attention that we know who you are and what you are. people are too afraid to say that. So if you're a coward and you're not going to at least be willing to write a letter, send an email, and let them know, I know who you are, explaining who they are and what you are, exactly why it is that you do what you do, and exactly your purpose and what you are attempting to do. If you don't let them do that and let them know that, excuse me, and have enough people sharing that information with them, they're going to continue on. A long time ago, there was with Jesse Ventura. He had an interesting video that he came out with some years ago when he had his show. It's on YouTube still, believe it or not. And it was a young lady that he did a show on exactly what's happening right now. We don't need to go down. We know what's happening right now. This is back in 2008, 2009. Okay. And essentially what the woman was saying was there are these powerful men, roughly about 7 of them. And they don't represent any type of religion, any type of business, whatever. They just have a specific agenda, what they want to bring apart. And one of the things she said that scares them is when the people begin to unite and start to protest. She said that scares them. We don't have enough people writing letters to these people, explaining to them that we know exactly what it is that you're doing. If we started writing letters to them with over 1 million signatures on it every month, you could bring this stuff to an end within 3-4 years. But because you don't have people that are willing to stand up and do that, and that's the whole reason why they want to bring in people from other parts of the world, because those particular individuals, they're just happy to have to be able to purchase a clean glass of water. So they're not going to say anything. But for us that are here, we're going to have to speak up in volumes and volumes and volumes. We can do things such as by preserving cities that are not in alignment with that, and get involved and vote for your local councilmen, everything that has to do as far as local, your education, things of that nature. You and I, we won't tell the city, but we know of a few cities, actually, believe it or not, in California that are very strong against this. We won't disclose those.
We won't disclose those, yeah.
But you and I, we know them. Now, the media will not talk about that, but they have been able to fortify themselves and keep their way of life. And I know that for a fact. Okay. So that tells you something. There are power in numbers.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's absolutely right. He's right. There's power in numbers, and that's the truth. You know, we had Demita Miles with us about maybe going on shy of a year now, and that's what she was talking about. That they have communities up in New York where they were really, really working, and I need to have her back on to see how far they've gotten with all of this. But there, where she was, where she is, they were attempting to put together some things to where everybody. They were keeping everybody that was voted in accountable. That was the goal, to keep them all accountable, as well as to make sure that, that they have a way to reach out to those who are in, the positions they put them in. And then if they're not doing what they're supposed to, they can hold their feet to the fire and remove them. And I think that that's the way that it should have always been and should have always stayed. Another thing I'm saying is, for me, I think that there should be some definite term limits.
Absolutely. And I will even add to that, in government, period, you shouldn't be able to serve over 16 years. That means if you did 2 years as a congressman and 2 years as a president, or 2 years as a senator, 2 terms as a senator and 2 terms at whatever, that should be it. Get out. Get out, because we've had your involvement and your insight long enough. We need other people. Technically, those positions are supposed to be more positions that we are more or less from the perspective of volunteering. And as a result of that, you are compensated for your time in it. It's not supposed to be, 20 and 24 years and 30 years, and you're just sitting there and you're getting a pension from this city, you're getting a pension from that city, you're getting a pension from this is outrageous. You look up. He or she, they're getting, it's outrageous. They're getting, think about it, a person they serve in California for X amount of for 8 years in something. Then they move to another state and they serve as a senator over there. Then they move to another state, then they serve as a governor over there. So now they're collecting 3 pensions. 3. Okay, so that's a total of 24 years. 8 times 3 is 24. And they're serving, think about this now. Think about this. They're now getting 3 pensions from 3 states. 3 pensions from.
I gotta look into that. That's amazing. That's amazing. But you know what I think, Lee? I don't mean to cut you off, but here's what I also think. Because, for me, after the last debacle, I just said, that's it. I took my voting card. Everybody knows I did it, so I'm not going to try to backpedal now. I took my voting card and I hung it up because I was like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy. What are they doing? I don't want anything to do with this because I'm not a part of this system. But what I have to say is I do have eyeballs and I can see, and I know the difference between right and wrong. And here's the deal. You know what? There are many passages that talk about how the people will rejoice when there are good people in leadership. And that's an Old Testament scripture. It's not something that's brand new. That's Old Testament, And so, people rejoice when there are good people in leadership. But whoa, do they get sad when there are people who are not? And I think this is indicative of that. And I also think that, I think that they should make some new rules, and maybe somebody in the chat can tell us who do you go to? Do you go to your local congressman? Who do you go to say, hey, look, or do you start the bill yourself? I don't know how you do it, but can you say, hey, listen, you guys should only get $35,000 for this voluntary position.
Yeah, you
better keep your day job. You need to keep your day job. Keep your day job, and you can do this on the other times because y'all love to take vacations. You guys do not need to be the ones living fat on the hog. So you guys get $35,000 per year for this job, and then you keep your day job, and then you can only serve in this position for 3 years. And let's see how many. And you cannot, absolutely not, take any kickbacks for any reason at all from any company, and you cannot push any legislation for any entity outside of your local jurisdiction that sent you here, which means you cannot come here and speak for big tech. You couldn't come and you could not speak up for, this, company that's just trying to tell everybody, well, sure, we'll protect you from those robocalls like they did a few years ago. And then all of a sudden you answer your phone and there's this thing that's saying, hi, we've been trying to reach you to let you know that your car's warranty is about to expire. You're like, ugh! We were rid of that years ago. Now they've got something new on the books saying that they're going to stop the robocalls, but you just stopped it years ago. So I don't know, Lee. I just look at it like this stuff is just a hot mess. Hey, Amy Duran, it's just a hot mess to me. Now, stuff has just gotten totally out of hand. Now, when it comes to the scriptures, especially the one that talks about how, the people will rejoice when there's good folks in. And then you've got people like me that say, I'm not voting no more. Tell me what you think about the passage where it says, folks will rejoice when there's good people in. Can that happen, Lee? Can it happen where we have good people?
We're going to have to make it happen. And you're going to have to get to cities. If you're in a city that, they care about just the general necessities of life that we've enjoyed in this country. As far as locally, you need to vote and protect that. Now, I get it if you don't have faith in the main election, but as you know, from a family member and some other people that I know that live in these areas, that they have proven it can be done. It takes work. It can be done locally. It can be done. So if anyone says it cannot be locally done, that's not true, because I'm witnessing it. It can be done on a local level. However,
go ahead. I was going to read what Steve said.
Steve says, yes, he's right where you are. He says, I don't believe this can be solved through the ballot box with the possible exception of at the local level. So basically, the local level is the only place. And you know what? It feels to me like our federal government is really doing a lot of overreach into the states' rights. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that we're not into states' rights. Now, having said everything you're saying,
states' rights, yeah, I would take part in something like that, especially if I can look at the person's life and I can, that's closer to you than this big, gigantic, distant thing that's reaching down into the states. I mean, I like the fact that a lot of the states have decided to say, yeah, no, we're okay over here, just leave us alone. But I do have a bit of caution for people who are propping up Florida, and I just want to give a little bit of caution to the wind with them. I'm going to tell you what I think about that in a minute. But go ahead, Lee. I didn't want to stop your flow. I just wanted to highlight Steve Willis's comment.
Mhm. Yeah, so absolutely. So you have to start winning on the local level, and then we have to communicate with billboards and signs when people start to come in those areas, and then we have to be outspoken to say and tell them, you're coming here because you like exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. But do you know the people who are behind it and what they stand for? See, people are they're under the assumption. See, there's this illusion with these people in Hollywood. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I told him straight up. I said, far as many of your African American Hollywood people, I said, I absolutely stand against them, and I absolutely protest against them.
Yeah.
And I absolutely said, he was like, well, what do you mean? And it was like he was ready to defend these people. And when I started breaking things, some of our symbols and things like that, he couldn't receive it, because especially in that community, they have, it's like the Bible when it talks about, far as David and Goliath went out there, how Goliath was the champion of the Philistines. That's why these movie stars ingest the champions that walk the earth right now, far as the Nephilim. See, they partake, they bring them in them. And what do the people do? The people are actually championing a Nephilim giant that used to walk the earth. And that's what's inside of these stars. So that's why they will live and die for these individuals, because these are Nephilim beings that are behind these individuals in Hollywood. And they bring them in. That's what it talks about, far as in the book of when we go back to the book of Enoch, and it talks about over there when God is rebuking the fallen watchers, and he's telling them that your children are going to be the spirits that walk the earth, demon spirits. They are disembodied entities.
Yes.
Well, when you come now thousands of years to today, that's exactly what they have inside of them. Now go back to the book of Samuel, and we see what's happening during the time of Samuel, where you have this champion that they have that these people are worshiping, essentially. And once he is taken out, what happens? They all scatter and run. Okay, they all scatter and run. If you can start to break down and destroy this, this propped up individuals that they've propped up as their champions, which are Nephilim spirits that are in them, eventually what will happen is the system will begin to fold and be destroyed. But many people that are even in the church, and we talked about that, they're worshiping these suckers. They don't even realize it. They'll invite these people into their church. Okay, they'll have these people speak, and this guy's got a Nephilim demon inside of him, and you're letting this demon speak in your pulpit. Oh, because he's a black guy. Man, get out of here. And we witnessed that. We witnessed that, you and I, living in LA and West LA. They love their black guys. So they bring these black guys in there. That's got about 3, 4, 5 Nephilim demons inside of them. Okay? All right? Straight up. All right? They got those Nephilim demonic entities inside of them. And those devils, those demon spirits, are literally speaking to you through the mouth of these movie stars that go inside of these churches, like in West LA, up in New York, up in Atlanta, Georgia. They show it, and that's a Nephilim demon that is speaking through that sucker to you.
You're spot on it right there, Lee.
Yep.
You are
Yep.
spot on. You are spot
Yep.
on. I want everybody to follow you, and we're not done yet, but I want to do this while I'm thinking of it. It's Lee Red Nation. Is that one word?
Yeah.
REDNATION?
Yeah. Lee
Okay.
Red Nation. Yeah. I'm gonna start. As you see, I'm having some. We'll talk afterwards. I'm gonna have to do some things because they fixed the computer, but my browser's off now, so I have to get rid of that.
Okay.
That's what's wrong, the browser. So I'm using right now.
Okay.
Right now, I'm using a tablet because my browser's messed up. So I got to get the computer's good now, but the browser's got to get straightened out. So we'll
Okay,
get it going.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
good,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to see that. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put your link down below in the description and ask any of my available mods to please replicate this and sort of pass it around for a little bit here. I'm going to put it right there and so that you guys have it. I'm also going to make a banner for it right now so that people see who you are so they can follow you. What do I want to put right here? I want to create a new one. Create a new one. How do I create a new one? Maybe I'll just edit. Maybe I'll just edit an old one so I don't mess
Yeah.
nothing up.
It's okay. I'm sure they'll find it. But those are just some of the things that we're going to be talking about. And why am I bringing all this up? Is because the scripture says right here, I'm going to read over in Matthew 24:13. It says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." That right there is speaking about when you go back to the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch was written for the remnant in those days. This is talking about the remnant
Okay.
because the remnant will be able to endure until the end, which is the same that shall be saved. Okay? So the remnant will be able to endure unto the end. And I believe that's what's happening right now in our country is that this is a judgment. Don't be deceived, my friends. This is a judgment. God is judging this place, especially um, many of these demonic entities, like you said. And you know, when you think about what they worshiped back then, like exactly somebody had the Valley of Raphaim. That is true. As far as the Raphaim, that being those that had the ability to reanimate themselves, the Raphaim. That's what these suckers are pursuing right here. And this is what they are in relationship with. So if we don't get this across to people, that these fallen entities, when you're watching these movies and many of these stars, they tell you about how they do certain things to get in a certain thought process to be able to take on the mentality of maybe someone from like 30, 40, 50 years ago, the movie's about, because it's a familiar demonic entity that very possibly that person was in relationship with. And that's what's this person now today that is in Hollywood is now seeking to partake of that personality to bring this personality on screen, and then they get you to start quoting certain things from that movie, and which when you become one with those quotes, and those quotes are coming from hell itself, from children of the Nephilim, of the fallen watchers, which exactly right there, what brother Ronnie said, the Raphaim, the Valley of the Raphaim and whatnot there, meaning those who could resurrect, those who could reanimate. That was one reason why I believe that David had to chop the head, brother David had to chop the head of Goliath off, because I do believe personally that Goliath would have woken up either that day or 2-3 days later on. So you had to completely dismantle these things because they were very similar to basically like what they've been talking about as far as like a zombie apocalypse, and that's what we had walking the earth with these fallen entities. Hello.
I was on the other side. I was sending Ronnie the link. I was
Oh, it's
just
okay.
saying. I was trying to talk, and I was talking, and I didn't have a mute button off. Anyway, so yeah, but you know what? I had been talking about the whole zombie thing for like what, since 2015. I had started
Hmm.
having visions about it, and I told you about it. I told Ronnie about it. I told Ortega about it. I told everybody about it that I had seen.
Hmm.
You, Cindy, Ronnie, because I wanted to make sure people knew that I wasn't tripping when all of a sudden this stuff started happening. Hey, Inger Norman, Ronnie Mann, come on, Ronnie Mann. Um, but what I'm saying is that I do believe that now we're closer to the revelation or the revealing of what is. And as I
Hmm.
look at, I keep talking about and I've been looking for the vulture stories. I've seen all the birds that are, congregating. I've seen all the birds that are, hanging around. I've seen all of that stuff. But I think that it's going to be even more prevalent here very soon. And I think there's going to be a lot of folks just sort of meandering around looking like they alive, but they ain't, which is what we're seeing right now. And I think a lot of people, it's in their mind more than
Hmm.
anything. I think a lot of people in their mind are really not here. Now, having said that, I do think that it will make it easier for things to slide in where it's now empty vessels, because those vessels are so vacant in that they've
Hmm.
now been changed in a lot of ways. And I do believe that a lot of those vessels that are now empty are going to find that they are people are going to find that they're filling up with other stuff, and
Hmm.
that's the best way that I can say it without saying it. If we were like all sitting around the coffee table, then maybe I could say it, but that's the best way that I can say it without saying it. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely, and it's just essentially they're putting. You could just say this much: people, by the act of their will, are putting devices. We'll just say that much.
Yeah, yeah.
Devices that
There
that
are scriptures that use
yeah,
that term
yeah,
divisive.
exactly. Yeah, that are putting certain devices with inside of them, and like I said, personally, me, I believe Hollywood's been doing this for years, and now it's being forced upon the mass population. But that's their whole thing, though. They have become one with these satanic creatures and these children of the Nephilim that are walking the earth. They're 100% that, and these spirits, these demonic entities from the Valley of the Rapine, where the giants were, and of course they were. We know that they were in also as well in areas of all around America, Ohio, all around. These entities were all around. So this
Well, it's
tells
called
me
Tinseltown for a reason. It's called Tinseltown for a reason. All of that stuff. Been seeing,
Los Angeles, fallen, yeah,
yeah,
fallen
all of it,
angels.
all of it.
Hmm.
And you know what? Ronnie and I were talking about talking about what I used to call them a long time ago, the L-ites. You remember there was a guy at the church that had broken down all of the ites. He had broken down the
Okay.
Jebusites. When we were at Crenshaw, he had broken down the Jebusites, the Hittites. He had a little booklet, and he was walking around trying to share with everybody about the different ites and their different characteristics. And at the time, people didn't want to believe it, didn't want to receive it. They were sort of poo-pooing him or
Hmm.
shoo-shooing him away. But while he
Hmm.
was breaking that down, I remember thinking to myself, L-ites, like they call them the elites,
That's right.
L-ites.
That's right.
L-ites. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? Yeah, and that's who
Hmm.
they are. Even Ronnie and I both agreed they are, and you agree too. They are the L-ites. That's
Hmm.
why they fit so perfectly. And so yes, they and is it not ironic, or don't think it's ironic, that they would literally be the same characteristics of Satan while he was in heaven. The music, the chief music guy, the
Hmm.
entertainer, as it were. It's the same
Hmm.
thing. It's the same thing, and all the people just love to flock around and make these folks their idols. Well, we just got through
Hmm.
reading through. I think it was. I know that it was Ezekiel 20. So we were talking about
Hmm.
setting aside all the idols and all that other stuff, and that's exactly what you're saying, is that they
Hmm.
have these idols and they look at these people and they say what they say, and they do what they do and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They do
Hmm.
what they do and they say what they say because they want to be like them, and that's the idol part. That's American Idol. Idol.
Hmm.
That's not. They didn't do that name by accident.
Of course not. Absolutely not. Of course not. And it says over here. I was reading this the other day to you, and it says over in Ezekiel chapter 9, it says, "He cried also in my ears with a loud voice." Verse number 1 says, saying, "Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, and a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up. Then it goes on to say, from the cherub whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set, this is the part I want to get to, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh, that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So I want to talk about as far as those that have a burning passion, that set their faces completely opposite of what is manifesting in the world right now, and have set their hearts to be in the scriptures, to be transformed. Those particular ones who are the remnant, the elect, those particular people, they are the remnant. If you've completely set your life, you've set your face against this particular ideology that is manifesting on earth, I'll just say it like that, then God is dealing with you, and you are one of those chosen remnant of this particular time that we're in. But we look at that, and what we have right now in the church and what's being communicated to the people is not transformation, not living a transformed life. And that's what these people were living. They were living a transformed life. If you're not pursuing to live it to be a transformed life, as Ray was talking about for us from Matthew chapter 24, verse number 13, it says, and those are of such those particular ones will endure to the end. Paraphrasing. So it's that type of mentality that is going to bring about true transformation within your life when you truly set your face against what is in this world, and you truly set your face in the scriptures in prayer to be different, to turn completely about face from it, and only to have your face in the face of Yah. Then and then that only will you be the remnant. And that's when we see things like the three Hebrew boys in the book of Daniel. I believe what God is communicating to us, that because they had completely set their face against what was in operation in Israel, in Jerusalem during that time, and and after they were captive, what was taking place in Babylon, that's why they couldn't be killed. There was a supernatural protection that came upon them. That's why they couldn't be killed. So with that type of absolute burning passion for excellence, and to really see the absolute glory, the kabod of God come on you and rest upon you, it's going to take you setting your face completely in the scriptures and to be different from what is in operation in this particular in our society today. And those that are doing that, then you, in my opinion, you are the remnant. You are of that special individuals that are of elect of faith that the Messiah, Christ, talks about in the end time, and that Enoch refers to far as the remnant that will be on the earth during that time. And we see that the same thing again with Elijah when he talks about that there's X amount of thousand that have not bowed their knee to Baal, and so forth and so forth. There's always a remnant. So I want to encourage you, set your face to absolutely pursue God unlike you ever have before, and see to it that you're not numbered with them. And that's all I have.
I think that's awesome. I really, really do. That is awesome. I mean, because we all sort of think about, I think for a long time, everybody was like, gee whiz, we felt like things were just normal. But the closer that we get to the day that we see, the end of this particular situation we're looking at right now come into effect, we really do begin to see this stuff is crazy. And it's because it's been run by a whole bunch of folks and evil doers that don't have mankind's best interests at heart. Let me just say it like that. You know what I mean? It does not have mankind's best interests at heart. Period.
That's right. Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you something else. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I had seen with this alkaline hydrolysis. It's a little off the topic, but it really isn't, because it's dealing with literally. Let me just start here. I had done a show several months ago, and it was dealing with this place in Washington State that where people, when they pass away, they would stick them in this thing that looks similar to an octagon shaped hull. They'll wrap them in some cloth, put them on top of these wood chips, and the person would biodegrade, and they would do something to accelerate the deterioration of the body. Well, now they have just recently made it to where it's legal now to put them in this and make them become sludge. Well, it goes a little further, because even with that, they have decided in the state of Washington and the state of California, although the law in California has not been, they haven't started functioning in it yet. I do have the laws highlighted here. But what it is in California, as well as other places, is the alkaline hydrolysis literally breaks the body down. And in some of these places, like the mortuaries or whatnot, they can break them down and turn the people literally into sludge that can be turned into fertilizer. And they are now in some states blending it in with the wastewater, and then they convert the wastewater into water for humans to use in their literal water.
Well,
and go ahead.
Well, you're right on. I mean, you think about it. We know that they've been doing this with aborted fetal tissue, and we don't need to go no further with that. So now it's just crept up. And the everyday walking person, it doesn't surprise me. Now they're going to do that with every person that's walking the earth right now. See, like I was talking to you off the phone. I mean, on the phone. The whole issue is that we trust too much. We trust too quick, and we give authority over to leaders and businessmen, et cetera, to do as they will, because we just want to live our lives, go to work, do whatever it is that we do on a daily basis. But the whole thing is that we are called here specifically for a work for God. And these types of things like this, what you're talking about, are just the satanic devices and the absolute manifestation of the enemy manifesting through children of darkness, and how they feel about people on earth. This is why I encourage you, what you're seeing right now, if you talk to people that have had real experiences in hell, that's exactly how they do people down in hell. They literally, and it just continues over and over and over, the torment. They eat individuals and whatnot there, and then they burn them and do just some crazy stuff. When you hear about some real testimonies of people that have went there, some crazy stuff. And this doesn't surprise me, because that sounds very similar to some of the crazy things that people have seen in hell. Doesn't surprise me. It's just hell. It's hell manifesting on earth.
Well, when I saw it, hey, Ronnie Mann, when I saw it, I thought to myself, this is just, it's creepy. It's creepy, Lee, and it's happening right there in Washington State. I'm going to pull it up for you. I want you to see this, because when I saw it, I'm going to pull it, and then I'm going to put it where we can see it. Right here. Here you go. Let me pull it up right here. Alkaline hydrolysis. I want to show you it in California, because it goes through the funeral directors or whatnot. But let me put here in California, because California's law, let me do Washington State. Why not just go to it? Just Washington State. And And so what they're doing is they're liquefying the corpse and then they're flushing them down the drain is basically
Oh
what
yeah.
it is. So it's called human composting. And they're saying that this is a better way to do everything as far as growing fruits and vegetables, making sure that they can, break the bodies down faster, all the way down to the bone. This thing goes all the way down to the bone, and it just sounds
Can
it's
I
so wicked.
can I add something to that? Now, as we were talking about the particular devices that people are willingly putting inside of them, one of the things that they were saying about those, I'll just say, beautiful devices, that they wanted to start putting that inside of fruits and vegetables. So this is just explaining, as so many people are unfortunately are passing from those wonderful devices, to say it like that. Now you see how they're gonna now you see how they're gonna use that.
The
Okay,
wonderful device.
those wonderful devices, how they're going to use that, and those particular things that don't die easily, and get it in the foods and hurt people. You clearly see how they're going to do that.
Well, this says thanks to the estate planning and probate group of Fitterman, for this summary of interesting new options for Washingtonians considering a somewhat morbid issue, body disposition. Washingtonians will soon have two new greener options for the disposition of human remains. In May 2020, natural organic reduction, also known as
The heck is wrong with people?
they lost it. They have lost it, but you know what? Let me go ahead on and keep going. So it says
I told you, these are demons. These people, they're championing this stuff. It's hilarious.
well, here you go. It says in May of 2020, natural organic reduction, also known as human composting or decomposition, and alkaline hydrolysis, also known as aquamation, green cremation, and liquid cremation, will be legal options for the disposition of remains. While many of the states already permit alkaline hydrolysis, hereafter aquamation, Washington will be the first to allow human composting. Aquamation, like cremation aquamation, reduces human remains to bone fragments, similar to cremated ashes, that can be returned to the family and the friends to be scattered or stored. Aquamation uses approximately 10% of the energy that is used for flame-based cremation, with no emissions of mercury, carbon dioxide, or particle matter into the air. Water and alkali solutions of sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, not an acid on the opposite end of the pH scale from acid, are heated to speed the decomposition process. After about 3 hours, tissues are dissolved and only bones remain. It sounds to me like the mafia has literally taken over the mortuary business. Sounds like the mafia took over the mortuary business. Anyway, let's keep it.
That's exactly what they do. That's what the mafia
You know what I
does.
mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, they'll never find you. So anyway, I hate to laugh about something so morbid, but I'm like, you gotta laugh to stop yourself from crying. So it goes on to say that the water involved in the aquamation process is then either processed. Listen to this. Get this. The water involved in the aquamation process is then either processed like other wastewater,
Yeah.
or it's given to farmers to use in agriculture, such as sod farming. Human composting will reduce human remains to usable soil, a cubic yard of several wheelbarrows of soil that can be returned to friends or family to be used in a garden or donated to conservation efforts. Washington State University conducted the first initial study to determine if human remains would be safely and effectively composted. The WSU study revealed that the resulting compost smelled like oil and nothing else, met or exceeded the state and federal safety standards, reducing or killing pathogens, soluble metals, and pharmaceuticals, and was unrecognizable as human remains, chemically, microbiologically, and visually. Recompose. Now, this is who we're going to look at next. Recompose is a company that is out of Seattle. It says a Seattle company that sponsored the research at WSU, hopes to open a facility in late 2020 or early 2021. She is now functioning. This was the story that we all did last year. I'm not sure if anybody else was here last year, but this is the story about the Recompose place. It's so it says 2021 that will feature approximately 75 reusable vessels for human composting. A body will be placed in an aerated vessel.
gosh.
Now, this is real deal. It's real deal. Yeah. A body will be placed in an aerated vessel to covered with wood chips, alfalfa, and straw. A process that they hope the family and friends will be involved with, like a memorial service. The vessel creates an environment for naturally occurring microbes and bacteria to compost a body in approximately 4 weeks. According to its website, Recompose Incorporated estimates that a metric ton of carbon dioxide will be saved each time someone chooses organic reduction over cremation or conventional burial. However, let me add this one thing. In the state of Washington, they just made it, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, but it just went into law. Don't quote me on this, but I know that what I'm saying is accurate. I don't have the timetable correct. But what they did is they said, anybody who dies in the state of Washington must be buried there unless they are being transported to another state. Think about that. Anybody who dies in Washington state must be handled and put to rest in that state unless they are going somewhere else. Okay, so now let me let you see this, because this is another thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was her. Now, this was the story that we did last year, and this is the home. We talked about this. Let me go ahead and let you guys see it. Recompose Life is what it says, and I want you to see this because it was pretty amazing then, and it's pretty amazing now, except now it's really come to fruition in the actual state that it is. All right, so this is Recompose, and but that's a leaf. That's a leaf. That's not a wisdom tooth. It's not an eyebrow. It's not a kneecap. It's a leaf, and that's a leaf. And these a full service funeral home specializing in human composting. Recompose works directly with you and the people your life. And the people in your life to ensure respect, empathetic service from the time of death through the body transformation into soil. We're here to support you. Now, here's the thing. I am not going to mock this particular thing here at all. And my purpose for saying that is because, you know what? Different people have different ways of putting their people, to rest. Different cultures. Like I already told everybody, wrap me in a sheet. Make sure you don't be holding on to me for no 35, 45, 50 days. I'm in the ground 3 days, baby. Wrap me in a sheet, I'm done, I'm gone. But I do not want any of this other stuff. However, this is talking specifically about healing the climate, moving away from toxic particles, creating soil health. Here's what this is not saying. Okay, and out of fairness to them, I'm going to come off their screen, so I'm not, saying nothing about them while I'm on their screen. Let me tell you what the problem is with this. The problem is with this is that once you put anything in the ground, what goes into the ground to grow your fruits and vegetables, that is what your fruits and vegetables are grown from. I do not care how you tell me you have broken it down, how you've used this different sludge and all this. Now it's a sludge stuff. The issue is that in some states, this is now going through the water. You're drinking this. They are forcing cannibalism on you. Now, Ronnie, I want to ask a question because I know you and Lee know that there is a passage. Lee was just mentioning this. There is a passage that talks about cannibalism, that talks about taking in blood, that talks about all of those things. This is not for the people of the kingdom. Would you agree with that, Ronnie? This is not for the people of the kingdom. It really is not.
Yeah, just to follow suit and to keep it well-rounded. In Ezekiel 5:10, it says, "Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers, and I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of
Wow.
will I scatter into all the winds." So this is clearly prophecy being fulfilled today, right now, as we
That's
speak.
good. That's good. That's good. Yep.
Am I reaching? How does that tie in? Well, I'm saying, compost. So we're putting it directly back into the soil. And meanwhile, these corporations and these companies are making money hand over fist every type of way from every
Yep.
angle.
Well, I got it right here on the screen, you guys. Here it is. Here it is for those who are wondering. Ezekiel 5. Ezekiel 5:3 or Ezekiel 3:5?
Ezekiel 5.
5:3?
5:10.
But you're
5:10, I'm sorry.
5:10. I just read 5:10.
Okay, 5:10
and
is
I
right
pulled
here.
that out because you've been reading
Wow.
in Ezekiel, but we can go to numerous places in Scripture where it says that the sons are eating the parents, and the parents are eating the sons and daughters.
Wow.
Yep.
I went to this one specifically because you're in Ezekiel right now.
Yes.
Currently, and
Lee's
this goes
studying
both
Ezekiel
ways.
right now. He's been meditating on Ezekiel as well.
And this is going both ways. This is the fathers eating the children, and this is the children eating the fathers.
Wow.
Equivocation, compost. Okay.
That's crazy.
Man, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Like I said, don't misunderstand. I mean, I was praying the other day, and God had to stop me and said, "No, this is a judgment. I'm judging right now. God had to stop me and say, no, you live right and walk with me in your household. Anything that you need to get straight, you get it straight. You walk with me, and don't bring yourself every bit that you know to get out of that world, lest you partake of the judgments it talks about in Revelation, because this is a judgment right now. This is a judgment, and I believe God is also exposing many of these lying churches, and we don't have to go down that right now, but many of these lying churches that are saying that the fabulous devices are wonderful and you should have them. Man, I've had to unfollow so many. I've had to unfollow people, and so many of these individuals have been exposed and say, "Wow, I never would have thought this person or that person possibly are not on the up and up."
Absolutely. And so to your point, the latter portion of Ezekiel 5 verses 10 or verse 10 lets you know, I will execute judgments against you. So you are spot on when you say, that these are judgments that are being executed upon the people. They are putting this on themselves, and they are fulfilling prophecy. Like they're doing a fine job at fulfilling, at making this thing, push forward. It's quite amazing and fantastical, even if it wasn't for the blatant obviousness of Scripture. He tells you, I have told you the end from the beginning. We have to connect these dots and see and realize that these things that we are seeing being played out are prophecy being fulfilled right before our very eyes.
That's right. Yep.
I'm amazed because that I was not expecting. But what's ironic? You guys are usually, you guys usually know the nugget scriptures.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
Can one of the mods handle what's going on in the chat, please? Okay.
I can get it. I'll go out on the other side. Yeah. So you know what? It's amazing to me because it's like when you guys know the nugget scriptures, that's what I was trying to say. You guys know the scriptures that are like where the nuggets are, where the good, the good rich word is. And not that I don't, but I'm just saying. Thank you, Ronnie. You got it. Okay. Yeah, you got it. I think you got it. So in any case, I digress, but that's juicy. When you look at that's right there in the word, that goes right in line with what we're talking about. That is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Lee, you guys were spot on. What else do you
Mm-hmm.
guys, about this topic, what else do you guys want to talk about where this is concerned? Because I think this is something that is going to be really, really driven home here really soon. I think there are going to be a lot of other states that are out there now that are going to be saying, no, if you're here, you got to go here, and this is what we do here. And I think that's also going to be something that they're going to be using when you're dealing with a lot of the homeless right now. I think a
Yes.
lot of the homeless people that are, they don't even, oh my goodness, somebody said that they did not have to have candy bars. And if they didn't have to have candy bars, my mind is automatically going back to Charlton Heston and the term scoops in the movie Soylent Green. Scoops. Soylent Green. If you guys remember Soylent Green, they were scooping people up and taking them away. But this reminds me of that because somebody said they didn't have to. Wow. Wow. My mind goes a lot of different places, but I'm just saying, it might be something to it. You never really know. But what do you guys think? What other scriptures can you guys think about that sort of tie in with this? Because I think a lot of people need to be equipped with as much word with this topic as we can, because it is coming with a slippery slope. Let me show you why I say that. Because there are several states that have, I'm getting it up. I'm pulling it up right now, but let me pull up my history. There are several states that have literally passed legislation really quietly on this very same topic. On this very same topic, there are some states that say, nope, we're not going to allow you to do this. Nope, we're not going to have anything to do with any of this. And then there are some states that says, yeah, sure, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it according to this, this, and this. California being the main one that is following suit with this. What else do you guys think that goes along with this? Because I constantly think of the whole scripture where it talks about us not partaking in any blood. And then here we are.
Yeah. My mind is blown, and when it gets to this point, I get very comical because this stuff at this
Can't
point,
make it up.
yeah, you can't make this stuff up. And like where I live at, I'm tired of all basically just idolatry. These individuals can do no wrong. I'm speechless of just some of the behavior and the things that I see. I mean, you hear people say things like this out here that they've like not getting on voting, whether you want to vote or not. But I got to bring this up. They'll say things like this. Well, I vote this person because they listen to the same kind of music I do. And I said, wow, really, Batman? Really, Batman? Is this where we're at? I mean, is this where we're at right now? Wow, really? Yeah. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because it's almost as if we're dealing with like adolescence or something. Mm-hmm. This is what a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old would say. And that is the mentality of people. Like I said, in areas like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, etc., major cities like that, they're worshiping these people. And they're able to get away with these types of things because so many people are out to sleep right now. Mm-hmm. And are they going to wake up? I don't know. I think very few will. There will be people that wake up, but very few in my opinion.
Well, there are almost 20 states that allow alkaline hydrolysis as a way of disposing of human remains. Alkaline hydrolysis is essentially a chemical breakdown of the body where it just breaks it all the way down. It puts it to such high temperatures so that nothing is left but a few gallons of fluid, or it's called effluent, unless it is deliberately crystallized. All right, so now there are several states within the United States, all of which, for the most part, seem to be where one gentleman has purchased a great deal of land. He has a lot of farmland in these states. And so the majority of the states that he has purchased as far as their farmland, these are the places where it is legal. And it literally turns into a sludge. It is literally poured into the drinking water and to the wastewater. They're called biosolids. It's a mix of human waste with toxic chemicals, believe it or not, and then they put it on these. They put it on the crops. So they're using it. They're putting it in crops. They're also using it, and they're making it into a sludge fertilizer. And so this is how they're putting it into. This is how they're putting it into the. And that was actually in the Guardian. That's how they're putting it into the food chain and into the food supply. So we know that we are coming toward a time right now where Yah is really, really, really. This is the reason why I was about to say, you know what? Whatever the election is that people are going to make, they need to hurry up and make it sure. And they need to hurry up and make their choices fast. We were teaching about this the other day. And I see you are, Jones. We may need to hurry up and just make your election real quick, folks. That's what I'm saying. Everybody better make their election quick, because we were talking about Ezekiel 20 this week. And as we were talking about Ezekiel 20, it's really basically saying, hey, you know what? It's time to get yourself together. It's not about your father's sin. It's not about if your father was a good guy, you a bad guy, so you're going to rest on daddy's goodness. It's not about what daddy did bad. Now you think you got to follow daddy's ways. It's not about any of that. It's not about any of that. It's about you doing what you need to do to get on the good foot for yourself. For yourself. And these are the things that happen when you attach yourself to the system that has nothing to do with Yah, with our Father. This stuff has nothing to do. He is a kingdom. You know, I remember, Lee, you were talking about going into the courts of heaven, how you go in, you know, while you're interceding, you go into the courts of heaven. And and you can't do that if you're on another side of the world or another side of the table or the playing field. You just can't do that. In order for us to be able to do what we need to do, we need to be on the winning side. You cannot come from the loser side and think that you're going to drag all of that where he is, because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. The ways of Yah are not the ways of this world, and the things that the world get themselves involved in, we can't get involved in. That's why we were talking about even the piece of the political piece. Yeah, okay, so the states' rights is really where it's at when you want to even go there. It's about states, and now we have the federal arm coming into the states' arm, causing a lot of problems.
And you know, it's funny you bring that up. They're doing that because so many people have waken up. So now a lot of people understand the game and are gathering around. I won't even mention the name of the city because I don't want people to move there. Those small cities, and are fortifying themselves. They're getting the right mayors in there. They're getting the right district attorneys, et cetera, and they can't run their games there. So they are fearful that that playbook is going to start to spread, in which it has spread it to other cities around the country. So, you know, that's why I believe they're trying to overreach and come in, because people are onto them and they can't get this thing across to every city, because you take the time, you read, you understand what you're doing, and you get the right people in there, you can stop this to a certain degree.
Well, I see Ronnie has something here for us to read. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Well, that's why they're on double time mode right now, because they do realize that people are waking up, and they are I would venture to say, I would like to say that they're losing the information war, but you know, I would like to say that because many people are waking up, but there are a lot of people that have been hypnotized and are fast asleep based on their rhetoric as well. So and their voice is much louder, so it appears that they are winning. But as I said, I would like to say that as far as the information value is concerned, you know, we are winning. However, they do realize that we are, you know, waking up, if you will, and so they are on expedite mode right now. And there's quite a lot of things that while the two of you were conversing early on, I was dissecting, and you know, side note, you're doing a marvelous job at bringing this to the forefront as well as connecting the dots. But if they are are in expedite mode, we have to be in expedite mode.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and just to corroborate what was being said, early on, as far as Enoch is concerned, this is chapter 49, and Enoch is for the last day, if you will, generation. And this is chapter 49 of Enoch. It says, in those days, and every time you see in those days, we're talking about the latter days. In those days, the saints and the chosen shall undergo a change. The light of
That's
day
right.
shall rest upon them, and the splendor of glory of the saints shall be changed. In the day
That's right.
of trouble, evil shall be heaped up upon sinners, but the righteous shall triumph in the name of the Lord of spirits. Others shall be made to see, they that must repent and forsake the works of their hands, and that glory awaits them, not in the presence of the Lord of spirits, yet that by his name they may be saved. The Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for great is his mercy, and righteousness is in his judgment, in the presence of his glory, nor in his judgment shall iniquity stand. He who repents not before him shall perish. What I'm getting at is these are two, verse 4. Henceforward, I will not have mercy on them, says the Lord of spirits. So what's happening here is there's two types of people right here. These are the people these are the called, and these are the chosen.
That's right.
This is the totality of the remnant, but many are called. In verse 3, it's talking about the ones who are called, that they must repent and forsake the work of their hands. Verse 1 and 2 is talking about the chosen.
That's right.
And so what's going on here is that you do have to expedite. This is clearly the valley of decision. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And this is the time. So this is the thing. As it stands right now, you might have a shot at being the chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. You might have a shot at being one of the chosen, but you have to step your game up now and do what is right and righteous now. It says those days, this is chapter 50, continuing on, in those days shall the earth deliver up from her womb, and hell deliver up from hers.
That's right.
That which it has received, and destruction shall restore that which it owes. He shall select the righteous and the set apart from among them, for the day of their salvation has approached. So in the latter day is the day of salvation, and the righteous and the set apart, that is the chosen. That is the chosen. And then it talks about the elect one that's sitting on the throne. But mind you, I just wanted to let you know that this is the time, and we see these things manifesting and playing themselves out. Make no mistake about it, and don't think it lightly, of light consequence that these things are happening right now. We are entering something that the history of mankind has never seen before, and we are entering it. We are entering into it swiftly. So
that's right.
The time is now. The time is now.
Yep, absolutely. That's what it says over in Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And that's it, to go along right with what you're saying right there. You have the called, the chosen, and then the faithful. And that's the thing that we have to do. We have to faithfully carry out the very things that he's called us to, all the way till the end. And I believe that when you have that inside of your mind and your heart and your mind, you're able to endure unto the end. But you have to keep the scriptures. You have to keep the mind of God before your face, and keep the scriptures before your face. And I notice whenever I do that, man, my days and my weeks are just absolute excellence. When things come up, they're just
crushed immediately. But when I get off my game a little bit, I'm like, God reminds you, and I'm like, oh my goodness, all this ruckus right there, and that happens when we don't keep this right here before our face, because that's what it's going to take during this time, that we are now going to have that same mentality. When I used to be in the bodybuilding, I didn't wait for the opportunity to go work out. I made time. I literally created times with my hands in order to get in the gym to pursue a particular goal. And that's what we're going to have to do with the scriptures. And during this time, you are going to have to create time as children of the Creator. Create time and stay in it and abide in it. And if those that are doing that, those are those who will endure unto the end. Just point blank and period.
So to go on a side tangent that is pertinent to the discussion. Many of us, because we've been steeped in Christianity, we tend to shy away from and shun the Book of Enoch. But
Yeah.
I just read a piece of chapter 50, and I read all of 49, and then Brother Lee came right behind me and read Revelation, and it corroborates each other.
That's right. Because they both saw the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So if not verbatim, the context is clearly corroborating each other. So I just want to highlight that to let us know that this Book of Enoch, if you actually look into it, you can see the correlation. You can see the anointing that has been placed on it, and it is it not only does it. Is it like a sidekick to your 66 quote unquote canonical books, but it is actually the precept for all of it. So when you so I encourage you to dive into it and see the Spirit speaking through it in this last times, because this is the book that has been sealed for the last day.
That's
Hallelujah. I have a song that we're going to take a break and listen to. Ronnie Mann just created this, and I want everybody to take a listen to it. So it'll be like a little teeny tiny break. So Here we go. Wow. Wow. That was really cool. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. That was really cool. I so appreciate that. You are by far one of the best producers that I have ever worked with. By far. And when I say I have worked with some folks, it's like I know you have worked with some folks. You the business. Yah blessings to you. Yah's blessings to you, my brother. Thank you for that. That was hot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was able to snatch it and pull it because we had just sent it to, I sent it to you, got it by email, snatched it down, pull it down, put it up, and there you go. So made it really quickly and really fast. And that is what I'm going to do with your newest creations, is to get these up and out really quickly. So thank you so much for that. What prompted that beautiful rendition?
That's just a interlude for you, instrumental interlude for you to take if you needed a break real quick. You know,
Oh, I
just
like it. You know what? And let me tell you what we used to do in radio. In radio, I used to play like a long, long, long song. That way you can get up and go use the restroom and then come back and all of that stuff. So that's what we used to do back in radio. We would find a song that was exceptionally long and we stick it up there. And then we would go to the ladies' room and then we could come back. Or we could have a snack or eat a soup or something really fast. And yeah, so it was really long songs. You know, Lee stepped away for a second. He's still there, but I'm monitoring his. He should be back shortly. But I am appreciative of the fact that you guys are correlating and bringing the scriptures into what we need to know, because these are the signs, these things that are happening, these are the signs that we need to be aware of, and bringing the word to what we see and making it a real thing. See, this is what I think. I think oftentimes we will not be able to find a scripture to something. And if we can't find a scripture to it, because what's written in the word is what we are moved by, I believe that a lot of times we can't make real solid decisions because we're like, well, I didn't see it in the word. I don't think it's in the word. I've never heard of it in the word. And so, okay, then I'm just going to do it. Well, no, you just don't want to do something like this because there it is. There it is. These are the end times. These are the things that are going to be going on. You know what I'm saying, you guys? Either one of you guys can pick that up. I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, now we see that we're not supposed to be doing X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean?
yeah. And what's amazing is that the nation that is doing this, like, we stand strong for it, and we put all our energy into it, and we prop it up, and we apologize for it, and they're using all of our collective energy to keep themselves propped up.
Yes.
And if you look at their forward progression, we're against it every step of the way. Like we don't subscribe to this this foolishness that they're perpetuating. But these are I'll just go ahead and say it. These are our overlords. These are the ones that we profess that that we stand behind and we stand up for and we pledge allegiance to things of that nature, and we have to understand that this is counter what is going on in our spirit. This is counter to what the voice, that small voice that you hear in your head, that's telling you the way and telling you what righteousness is. What this nation is perpetuating is counter to all of that. We have to make a decision. And I'm telling you, if you don't think the time is now, what's happening is we're in procrastination mode because they realize the time is now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're executing it. Their play-by-play is
swiftly.
flawed. Yes, and their play-by-play is I mean, they're going according to the game plan, play-by-play, and they're executing it, and they're not relenting until phase such and such is complete, and then they're moving on to the next phase swiftly, so on and so forth, and they're executing it perfectly, and we're falling by the wayside. We are falling by the wayside. Or we're caught up in their whirlwind and we're their cheerleaders. It's time to snap out of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
I agree 110%. This has been a really good rap session that we've had, you guys. I mean, yeah, we did start out with some pretty comical things that was going on because Lee just had to break it down with laughter. And
I gotta laugh at this stuff. I'm sorry. You know what? Okay. You want to know what I was really laughing? I'm gonna tell you what I was laughing at.
What?
Okay. I mean, Batman, are you ready?
I'm ready. Batman's ready. Holy cheese, Batman. What's going on?
These poor people, I've seen these people where a person says, oh dear, their husband's passed on. And I just had this horrible thought, but a hilarious thought of somebody said, well, he's inside this jar and he's feeding the plants and all kinds.
And that's terrible. And that's terrible. And that's why I'm glad we were able to correlate the word to that, because there would
Oh
be
my
some dear soul that, some dear sweet soul that will have just lost somebody and think, oh, well, it's okay. They're going to help the environment, or they're going to help this or that.
Yeah.
And people don't understand what Gaia is. It's like, oh, yeah, let's just take care of nature. But listen, this lady literally said in one of her, I think it was in her, TED talk. She says, the woman who made this one particular place, she goes, you know what? And look, you can become a lemon tree. But everybody, and she speaks so very monotone. And one thing they taught us when we were taking, speech class, is that you can primarily sell anything you want to sell if you are speaking a specific tone. And as she has her clicker right there on her TED Talk, she is telling people exactly what her vision is for the company that she started, and that all they would have to do after you went inside of the wood chipper and your family walked through the processional with you and lowered your body down personally inside of this particular thing that's going to break the body down, bones and all, is after that, you go through this process, and this process is accelerated. And then later, you can now be put into the fertile ground to make lemons. And you'll become a lemon tree. I said, this heifer right here, I
Yeah.
said, she has got some problems. Then I tried to look up her family, couldn't find none of them. Whenever somebody tells me that Betty Bob was raised in this city or town, and then they'll say, but this is the mom, and the mom did this for a living and that for a living, but you can't never show me no pictures. You can't tell me what the mom and daddy's name was. All you can do is tell me that the mom and daddy was in this field. I believe that you were a created person in a laboratory across the border, which is called Canada. And that is exactly what I think. I think a lot of these people that are moving a lot of these things, these people were not, they're not people. You can't find me no mom and no daddy, not even by, no, you can't even put me up a picture of a stock photo of a mama and them or a daddy and them, or maybe take your picture and slice it in half and stick another person's face there. Now you got a nice little combination plate of what looks like you. This is a problem, and this goes right back to what you were talking about when you guys were speaking about the Raphaim. Because see, what we don't understand, a lot of people do not get. This is what a lot of people who call themselves Christians. Now I'm going to say this. I've said it before. When you assign yourself the title Christian, please understand what it does mean. You must do as we did here not long ago, and that's take you right down there to the people who say they are the largest Christian organization or the largest Christian religion in the world, and that is Catholics. That's what they say. That's who they are. Look at what they do. Look at what Rome does. Look at what the Grecians do. Look at what all of them do. And then you will say, this is a problem, because these organizations, for the most part, there's a couple of them that are saying something about it, but these are the ones that they allow to stand out front, and they're Catholic ones. But here's the deal. There are people who are quote unquote believers who will buy into this because there are believers who have purchased and bought into cremation. For whatever the reason is, this particular thing that I just read to you, that you just saw, is under the subheading of cremation. Now do we see? Now do we see if it is for us or if it's not for us? Because a lot of people say, well, should we be cremated? Should I, my thus and such was cremated. Should we do that? Well, now you can see that this goes under the exact same subheading. These are crematoriums that do this in California, for example, crematoriums that do this in other places. And this particular situation right here is with a crematorium. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to leave right now, folks. I want Lee Red Nation to go on ahead and shout out where we can find him. Are you on Parler? Where are you? Tell us about where you are.
Right now, I'm getting ready. I'm just getting some things in order. I'm going to be coming back on Facebook. I'm over there. It's Lee's Supernatural Stargates, Portals, whatnot there. And I talk a lot about far as UFOs and that sort of thing like that. The channel is going to be coming back, but I will be changing the name very soon. It's going to be under the title of Demand Truth, and that will be changing very soon. So keep your eyes out on that. Hopefully in the next week or so, I will be back on, And also would love to have Ronnie come on. And I'm going to be doing more of just interviewing and allowing people to share their perspective and talk about their walk and just how they see how things are mapping out in this end time. And I think we all have a little bit of piece of the pie. And I think when we humble ourselves and we allow other people to share what they have, we get something out of it. And that's how many things in my life have turned out when I've just humbled myself, allow another human being to share. Sure enough, great things have happened. So that's pretty much about all. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here and sharing that information with us. And Ronnie Mann, I'm so glad that you are here and that, Ronnie is so humble. He's a lot like Lee. Lee and Ronnie are very humble. And what I like about both of them is that they know the word and they are bold with the word. They're bold. I mean, they're very laid back people when, you know what I'm saying, just in their regular lives. But when it comes to this word, they are on point, on task. And so I appreciate you. Ronnie, did you want to say anything before we close out here?
Yeah, that's awesome. What Brother Lee just said, because I was gonna say that you could always find me at the Lockhart Perspective, and I was gonna be bold enough to say, and hopefully it'll be cool if you can find me over at Lee's channel as well. So
coming very soon, very soon. Yep. So we'll be talking. Who knows? Maybe even tomorrow soon if you guys are free. Yeah, but
yeah. I'm there. I'm with you.
Yep.
Anytime. Yeah. And then Righteous Broomsticks. Wait a minute. First, I got to get past your name. Look at their name. That is cool. I mean, listen, if they didn't have, listen, they have a good thing to say, and so it balances out that name. So it says, I wanted to thank Ronnie. The break music got me up and dancing. Yes, it does. And wait till you guys hear the whole catalog of music. Wow, will you be blessed? And Lee was over there grooving. I had put the screen up real big, and Lee was grooving. I saw Lee grooving back in the studio. But listen, everybody, we're right at the 2-hour, 11-minute mark. Time did go by fast because we were having fun, and it is Saturday Night is Live, and we will come back again with this exact same segment very, very soon. I'm glad to see that everybody was able to join us, and I'm glad that we were able to bring it back, and so that's a good thing. Listen, I want each and every one of you guys to remember what we always say on this channel, and that is, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every single word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. Until we see each other again, I want each and every one of you to please continue to be blessed until we see each other again, okay? All right, and we're going to go out with the new theme song for this show, which is Saturday Night is Live. Saturday Night is Live, not Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night is Live. Okay, here we go. You guys take care.